Hello, everyone. I wanted to come here and quickly talk about balance, right? Law of attraction, spirituality, moon rituals, working with Orishas, um, picking and choosing, and if you have to, and how to meld or homogenize all this, bring it all together. So, I'm here to talk about this primarily because I wanted to just put a message out that is very congruent, that just it all has a theme through it, which is about making us feel better and live more abundant lives. That's what we're trying to do. And so we are beings that never stop learning if we're humble enough and honest enough to recognize that we don't know everything and that we're still learning. We're still in the process of trying to figure stuff out all the time, right? And not even just trying to figure stuff out, but realizing that you never really do get it figured out. You get off on this journey and you got stuff you got to get done, and that's pretty much how life works all the time. We're just always, I want to say we're always going after goals, but we're definitely always trying to improve our lives, do better. So, to bring all this together, to just get you to understand this entire process and how it doesn't contradict itself. Take, for instance, if it's so funny because, like, years and years ago, when I stumbled into Abraham, the law of attraction, Dwayne Packer, Sanaya Roman, Orin and Dabin, I was much younger, and I kind of was just like, oh, okay, I'm gonna go over here and hang with this and get this done. Same thing with Buddhism. When I studied that, yeah, I've studied a lot. Same process when I studied Haitian voodoo, which I still find to be very beautiful of a system. I never got initiated into it, but I think it's a beautiful system. There's just so much beauty out here, and there's so much for us to be able to pick from as human beings to allow our lives to do what we want them to do and to help us live better, more fruitful, happy lives. And so I think a lot of the times it can seem like, oh, she's into this now or she's into that now. And like, mind you, none of my books ever go anywhere. If anything, I add to the books. I'm bringing stuff together, writing charts out, doing all kinds of things. When I was here doing the Your Mind, Your Life challenge, it brings together a lot of those processes, but more from a general standpoint, because I didn't want to alienate people who do not practice the Orisha tradition, who do not really quite get the law of attraction, who actually get a little aggravated by the idea of visualization, but realize that they want more control over their lives. They want more input over what happens, and they want to feel like it's not such an arduous task to get things completed and to live the lives that they want to actually live. So that's why it was called the Your Mind, Your Life challenge, because essentially we had to change our mind about a lot of things. I have seen the same message from place to place. It does not matter. And it's funny because when I come back to my tradition that I am initiated into, which is the Orisha tradition as a priestess of Obatala, I hear Obatala kind of like chuckling at me, like, I told you a long time ago, like, there's nothing new under the sun, baby girl. Like, you're not learning anything new, but it all comes full circle. And you hear, like, take for instance, I was able to hear very clearly, very plainly, listening or reading the book, Joyful Living. I think that's what it's called, by Sanaya Roman. Very good book. The message in there was so simple. It was live and joy now in order for your life to do what you wanted to do. Oren made it such a very simple, he was just dead on, like boom. people think that your life is going to be happier if you go and do all these things and then you get the joy. And he's just like, and they just are missing it. It's the flip. It's the reverse. You have to go and do something that makes you happy first. Live your life from a joyful place in order to achieve the things that you want to achieve. And so I remember this year when I was I really lived those principles like nobody's business. Between that and Abraham Hicks, I was just on a mission. You hear me? I did the light body courses by Sanaya and Dwayne Packer or Oren and Dabin. And what happened for me was I noticed a difference in their vibrations. Like these entities have different vibrations. And they don't all, they're similar vibrations. They are clearly within the same realm, but their approach is slightly different. And I don't know how to explain it to you, but I can tell you because one of the things that Abraham always says is that we're vibrational beings, and we definitely are. You wake up in the morning, that's the first thing you feel. Your baby first comes here, that's the first thing it's aware of. And when you are truly tapped into your vibration, when your baby gets here, you hear vibration more than you even hear the baby cry when it gets here. Seriously. I mean, I remember that when my daughter was young. However, I remember feeling when I was doing these two, doing the exercises in both of their books, right? The difference, the pull, it was almost like opposing magnets. That's the best way that I can explain it. Both of them magnets. Both of them had an amazing message for you. And the goal was the same. They just did something different inside my little vibration when I was working with them. And in the end, I did not opt to work with one over the other. I work with both of them. As a matter of fact, when I've worked with people that I'm trying to help move forward in their life, it is my recommendation that they get 2 books, Joyful Living and The Amazing Power of Emotions. Those are by both of those entities, Oren Dabin, or Oren, I think, and Abraham. The books are freaking awesome, okay? And I think they really help you to hone your emotions. Now, how do I then bring this to, say, take for instance, specifically, how do I harmonize this being an Orisha priestess? Because as an Orisha priestess, when you're really trying to learn a tradition, you eventually learn, especially very, very popular Orisha here, but all of them very similarly say very similar type things. But Oshun is about that process of speak about what you do have that is good, and then more will be added to you. You complain, you ain't going to get nothing but more complaints. Hello, is that not what Abraham says? Is that not what Oren says? Is that not what we learn through visualization? What you concentrate on is what you get, but they're different ways of doing things. I think a lot of people like to look at the tradition, the Orisha tradition, and they see altars. You know what I mean? They see drums. They see and hear, oh, the Orisha gave me a message. I was at this event and this happened with the Orisha. Or I went to the river and I took these offerings to Oshun and she responded in my life in this way. Okay? However, there is a deeper layer to this entire process when it comes to Orisha. And it speaks in the very same layer that is Oren, Dabin. I cannot remember the one that plays the music. I wish I could. Like right now, I'm forgetting. There's an entire entity that they work with at their website that actually brings the music through, and I cannot remember him for right now. Or it for right now. And then Abraham. The Orisha live in the same vibration. I'm telling you, it's so funny because they don't say anything different, but you have to be willing to listen. So that's how I bring it all together. Okay, literally. And it's so funny that when this process is happening, I've been listening to, like, Abraham has taken off of recent or moved forward as we are all moving forward 2018 Abraham is very different than 2006 Abraham that I first was introduced to. Okay, and Orin. When did I come to know Orin? I think it was around the same time, 2006, 2007, like right around in there. I was stumbling into these sciences. I was reading, people were recommending books, and I was buying books and I was reading them. What I'm trying to say is that there is a balance in all of this, or a similar message. And a lot of people get caught up in different things when it comes to the aesthetic, when it comes to what you're looking at. Okay, being able to see Esther, Esther's the furthest thing in people's minds from Oshun. She could be a daughter of Oshun, who knows? However, she's the furthest things in people's mind from the Orisha tradition, right? Likewise, the same would be said for, I would say, visualization and visual, like the boards that people are using, the vision boards that people are using, spirituality as far as baths, as far as altar spaces, as far as working with crystals. But this is an organic planet. And these entities are coming here, and they're all saying pretty much the same thing. The vibration is the same. The law of attraction is one of many laws. It's a very important law, though. From what I've been able to understand of it, is that it makes all the other laws, fit. They're like the spokes in the wheel, but it's the wheel. It's like it's important. All of them are important to everything, but they all work together. So I wanted to come here to say there's nothing new under the sun. It is all balance. When I'm coming here and I talk to you about baths, I talk to you about the Your Mind, Your Life Challenge. I talk to you about the moon rituals. I talk to you about offerings with the ancestors. I talk to you about Orin, Daben, Abraham. I talk to you about all of that. It is all balanced and it all works together. I'm not setting up a whole brand new process every single time I go to do anything at all. Okay? I mentioned Oshun, but Yemaya says the same things. Obatala says very similar things. Ochosi says very similar things. The concept of you can get more bees with honey than you can vinegar is a constant flowing process of the Orisha, of our ancestors, old adages of this entire planet. So don't think that there's confusion in that message. The message is the message, and we're here to learn how to be in a vibration that allows us to stay in a sweet spot while we enjoy manifesting the life that we want. But the lesson is to learn how to stay in a sweet spot. And a lot of the times we just don't know how to do it. That's why sex is so freaking amazing to people, because that's the sweet spot, baby. That's the ultimate sweet spot. But so is good food, right? There are a lot of things that people do in excess so that they can stay in a sweet spot, but they have not learned how to hone the process of changing their mental vibration so that the sweet spot is in here, so that they can feel it in their heart and then push it out to the world. So I will be back to talk about this in the future. But I wanted you to understand, when you come here and you hear all those messages and they sound like they're many different, same solar system, honey. Everything's the same. Have a good Saturday, everybody. Peace.